Martell Holt is playing around with this whole divorce storyline has folks scratching their heads and wondering, are we watching the real Martell? Or are we watching an actor trying to rewrite his own narrative? It's getting wild, y'all. Owen just dropped another clip, and it looks like it's for episode 2 of Love and Marriage, Huntsville season 10. On the thumbnail is a picture of Martell with the question, how long does it take to move on from a divorce? And I don't know about y'all, but I was like, wait a minute, what divorce? The same one from years ago? Let's really get into it. Now, if you're a real fan, you remember a couple years back when Martell had a whole meltdown on Instagram about being forced by production to fake scenes with Melody Shari. That was during the infamous coffee shop moment when he brought Melody some flowers and she shut him down with that quick wit we all love. Martell claimed he didn't want to do that scene, said Carlos King begged him to show up, and that it was all fake. According to him, the producers were trying to make it look like he was still in love with Melody, but he swore he was over it. He even typed out a long comment online saying he didn't want her back, that he was just playing team ball for the cameras, and that we were all actors. Baby? He even said, film my real life or don't film me at all. Those were his exact words. And now here we are, 2 seasons later, watching Martell sitting in a furniture store talking to Destiny Payton about how his divorce still feels fresh. Sir, make it make sense. And let's talk about that clip they just aired. In the scene, Destiny's telling Martell that he's still stuck, and Martell tries to deny it. But even as he denies it, you can see in his face that something isn't sitting right. Saying he's not stuck, but then immediately goes on to say that he thinks about the divorce every day. That right there is exactly what Destiny meant. If you're thinking about it every day, then yes, you're still stuck. And it's okay to be stuck, but don't be out here pretending that you're healed while trying to work angles for the camera. Because that's what it's starting to feel like. And y'all, let's not forget, Martell and Melody Shari's divorce was finalized years ago. They've both dated other people since. Melody's been booked and busy, focusing on her children, her brand, and just glowing from the inside out. Martell, on the other hand, has been linked to Shari Whitfield and still running around in circles with Arrion. So when he sits there with Destiny, talking about how the divorce feels fresh, it really feels like he's trying to rewrite history. Like the show is trying to rebrand him as this sensitive, wounded man who just can't let go of his family. And while that might work on people who just started watching the show, longtime fans know better. This man dragged Melody publicly, repeatedly, and with no shame. He disrespected her on national television, brought another woman into their marriage, and even had a baby outside their union. Then he turned around and got mad when Melody decided to finally leave. He called Arrion a peasant. He tried to gaslight Melody on camera over and over again. So now when he sits in a store acting like he's heartbroken and still thinking about the divorce, it's giving actor energy. And not Oscar-worthy actor either. We're talking full-blown scripted storyline energy. And let's talk about Destiny Payton real quick. Because in this scene, she's trying to be the voice of reason. She's telling Martell the truth to his face that he's still holding on to something. And you can tell she's trying to get him to admit it, to really sit in those feelings and maybe grow a little. But Martell isn't having it. He's brushing it off, talking in circles, trying to sound deep about being 43 and having kids. But really, it just sounds like he's making excuses. Like he's laying the groundwork for a new storyline this season. Martell, the loving father who just wants his family back. And y'all, we've seen this act before. Let's not forget that back in season 3 or 4, Martell already tried the I miss my family routine. Remember that vow renewal he brought up? The one where he acted like he wanted to fix things? That whole storyline blew up in his face, and Melody wasn't having any of it. So now that he's on the outs with Shari and probably not dealing with Arrion publicly anymore, it's like he's going back to the drawing board. Trying to get fans to feel bad for him, trying to position himself as the misunderstood man who just wants peace. But here's what's really frustrating. A lot of us have followed this show since day one. We saw the real tears from Melody. We saw the pain she went through. We saw how Martell gaslighted her in front of the cameras, the kids, and the whole world. So when production tries to spin the narrative like Martell is just now having emotional fallout from the divorce, it doesn't sit right. He's had years to deal with this. And during those years, he wasn't trying to heal. He was trying to blame everyone else. Do you know what it really feels like? Damage control. It feels like Martell and maybe even production are trying to clean up his image. Like they're trying to soften his character so they can keep him on the show without all the backlash. And to be honest, that makes the show feel less authentic. Because how can we believe what we're seeing now when we clearly remember what we saw back then? You can't erase 9 seasons of toxicity just because you want fans to have sympathy. In season 10, we're not new here. And it's wild because Martell literally said in writing that he didn't want Melody back. He was mad at production. He said Carlos King begged him to take those flowers. Hey? And now he's acting like the divorce still keeps him up at night. It just doesn't add up. Either he was lying back then or he's lying now. Either way, it's a bad look. And you know what's even more frustrating? Arrion Curry. Because when Martell said her name on camera for the first time, it felt like maybe, just maybe, he was finally ready to show his real life. The fact that production even left her name in the episode shocked everybody. And then they showed a photo of them together. We're all holding our breath. But now it seems like that was just a teaser. It's just a little chaos to get people talking. Because suddenly we're back to Martell crying about the divorce and acting like he's still emotionally tied to Melody. The switch up is giving whiplash. And I get it, maybe he's genuinely struggling. Maybe having 4 kids with Melody does make it hard to move on completely. But what we're not going to do is pretend like he hasn't been doing the most these past few years. He was not out here crying about the divorce when he was taking beach trips with Cherie or doing lives with Arrion. He wasn't looking heartbroken when he was bashing Melody on social media or showing up to events acting brand new. So what changed? Is this really growth, or is this just another chapter in the script? This is why fans are side-eyeing the show right now. Because it's starting to feel like we're watching scripted content, not reality TV. And look, we all know reality TV has some direction behind the scenes. But when the storyline completely contradicts everything we've seen with our own eyes, it gets hard to stay invested. We want realness, we want transparency, and we definitely want consistency. Don't try to sell us sad Martell now when we watched him destroy his own marriage with no remorse. So y'all tell Mayar, you buying it? Do you believe Martell is really still broken up over the divorce? Or do you think this is just another attempt to flip the script and gain sympathy? Because to me, it feels like he's trying to find a new way to stay relevant. Maybe the producers told him he needed to clean up his image. Maybe he realized he was running out of allies. Whatever the reason, this new version of Martell feels off. It feels like a performance. Make sure you drop a comment and let me know your thoughts, because I know y'all have opinions on this. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any of this drama. Because season 10 is just getting started and it already feels like we're in for another messy ride. And please watch this video to the very end, because this season might be the one where everything finally falls apart, or where people finally start showing their real selves. Either way, we're going to talk about it every step of the way. So stay tuned, and I'll talk to y'all soon.